Hello everybody, this video is a follow-up to the most recent main channel video, so before you watch this video, go watch that video, because this video has spoilers for that video, and that video is better than this video. But make sure to come back to this video when you're done, because if you don't, I'm gonna find you. Alright, then let's get straight into it with the first one. Or I guess the last one, but the first one chronologically. Hey, I said to go watch the original video. There's spoilers ahead. Get out of here. So, because I already know everything that's on the list, we need to have someone else do the ranking for blind ranking. We're gonna experiment, and so I have my buddy X5 who's here. He's gonna do the blind ranking segment of this video. How are you feeling, X?
I'm in a 2Pixel for you video.
Why is he giggling like a child? So there are technically 10 spots, but for the sake of the video, like in the video, there's a spot 3.5, so we'll do that here as well.
I still don't know how blind rankings work.
What, you don't know? Okay, so I'm gonna give you the things, and then you have to rank them blindly, so you don't know what comes next.
Oh, it's like those TikTok things.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. All right, starting with the iceberg.
I love me some iceberg videos on the YouTubes and such, you know, youtube.com, that website. Pretty cool place, you know. I would put it a good 4.
Right. You can move it, I think, right? Or no?
No.
Oh, you can't move it?
Oh, I'm not even in the whiteboard.
You're supposed to be. That's why we're doing it in whiteboard.
You didn't tell me to go on the whiteboard.
My bad.
Number four, you know.
Okay.
Number 4.
I'm very curious to see how your list ends up being compared to the actual video.
Wait. Before we do this, can I move it to 3.5?
You're more than welcome to. Okay?
I realized that it's 1, 2, 3, 3.5, and then 4.
Yeah, you can, as long as we're on the same one, you can move it around as much as you want. You just can't move it once you lock it in. Just if you're ready to lock it in.
I'm locking in 3.5.
He's locking in the iceberg. All right. Then we have the leaderboard.
I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller so it fits. I'm gonna put it at a good. Oh, where's he gonna put it, guys?
Where's he gonna put it?
I'm putting it in 5.
Okay, and you're locking it in.
I'm putting it in 6 and I'm locking it in.
Wow, this is already very different from my video. Next up, we have tournament bracket.
Okay, I really like the sports bracket, but oh god, I shouldn't have put iceberg in 3.5. I'm gonna give it a good 4.
Okay, I see it.
Wait.
That's not a ranking method. Next up, we got word cloud.
As a ranking. There ain't no leaves in this ranking video. I'm putting it in 7.
This one's pretty self-explanatory. I think you should know this one right off the gate.
It's the Pixel XD video. Tier list, extremely subjective, but I like it. I would put it 1 or 2. I'm putting it in 5.
Oh my god. You think iceberg and tournament bracket are better than tier list? Just to confirm.
I definitely should not have put iceberg in 3.5.
Sure, we'll do this one. All right, we have alignment charts.
This looks like a Kahoot.
He's really thinking about this one.
I should not have put iceberg in
We haven't really established what the criteria for we didn't establish what your criteria for ranking these things is. Like, I don't know why you're putting certain things above the others. It's like, what are you judging
My criteria is that I'm a fucking baller. That's my criteria. Okay. I would have put it in like 5. This little freaking stupid idiot wasn't in 3.5. I would put it in 8.
Okay, next up is my favorite, Mario. Next we have pyramid. So this is like kind of like the.
How is that any different from?
The only difference between this and a tier list is the fact that this has to get smaller as it goes up. It has to, whatever's in quote unquote, like whatever's at the top of the pyramid has to There has to be less of it than whatever's beneath it.
Well, that's trash. Put it in 9.
I like where this is going. Anyway, on a completely unrelated note, next up we have blind ranking.
Oh, wow. Blind ranking. I like it. I'll put it in number 2.
Then we got meme.
I really shouldn't have put iceberg. Honestly, actually, I'm not mad with it being in 3.
Okay.
Whatever's number 1 is whatever's last is number 1.
All right. Well, I think you've lucked out, because your last and only option is numbered list for number 1.
That's not a bad number 1. You know, iceberg really messed up my whole list.
It's all Iceberg's fault. But yeah, blind ranking sucks. That's the moral of the story.
No, it's pretty cool.
No, it's not. It sucks.
As you can see by my ranking is a fact in my opinion. My opinion is a fact and yours is wrong. Keep that in the video.
The things I do for content. Because this is an iceberg ranking, I had to get my winter apparel on. I'm gonna try to get this done as fast as possible before I start sweating so much that I turn into a waterfall. As a reminder, an iceberg ranking has the most well-known things placed at the top and the least known things placed at the bottom. So if we're starting with blind ranking, I think that's gotta go pretty close to the top. The thing with blind ranking is that it's very, very prevalent on shorts platforms, but I don't know how much that accounts for in terms of it being actually well known as a ranking method. I think it's good to put at the surface level though, so I'll put it right about there. Oh God, I'm already starting to sweat. This is not I'm gonna die of heat stroke. After blind ranking was the iceberg ranking method, and I feel like icebergs are pretty popular on YouTube. But even so, I feel like this form of ranking is pretty well known outside of YouTube. I don't know if it's more well known than blind ranking, or at least not currently, because I would argue that icebergs have been around for longer than blind ranking, but maybe aren't as prevalent today. So because of that, I'm gonna put iceberg like right at the surface level of the water, just because it's been around for ages, but in today's society, I feel like blind ranking has a little bit of an edge over icebergs. After iceberg, we have tournament bracket. This is kind of an odd one because these have been around like before the internet technically and stuff, because like you like tournaments as an idea have been around for like quite a while, but as a ranking method, I'd argue that like, I don't know. The thing with this is tournament brackets are like, they're well known, but they're not known as a ranking method, they're known as a tournament bracket. So because of that, I'm gonna put it a little bit lower, just because I feel like it's not super well known as a ranking method, and it's more just known as a tournament bracket. I just realized I wrote tournament ranking instead of tournament bracket, but I'm not gonna fix it because if I spend any more time on this, then I'm going to die. After tournament bracket was word cloud. This is probably gonna be the lowest on the list because word clouds themselves aren't even like that well known. Like most of the time when I was bringing up this video idea to people while I was working on it, a lot of them I had to explain what a word cloud was before I even established that I was classifying it as a ranking method. So because of that, I think I'm gonna put word cloud pretty low on the iceberg, because even if you do know what a word cloud is, you're definitely not gonna know it as like a ranking method. Then we got meme template. Another odd one because, again, very well known, but not super well known as a ranking method. I'll put it slightly above tournament just because I feel like memes are, again, more prevalent in society today than tournament brackets. Then we had pyramid. Pyramid is gonna be, oh Lord, again, a good way to organize things and very well known as a way to organize things, but not super popular as a ranking method. I think I'll put it like right here, because it feels more like a ranking method than these two, and it's definitely more well known as a ranking method than these two, and it's also like, I feel like a lot of people, if you say what, like, oh, I'm gonna rank this by like in a pyramid, I feel like people will know what you mean generally. Alignment charts are, I think a lot of people get confused by these as well, just because they have so many like variations, like, right, there's the lawful good to chaotic evil, like D&D ones, then there's also like the political compass. Those are those are pretty different, and I feel like people don't usually correlate them as the same type of ranking, if they're even a type of ranking. The question is if they're more or less known than word cloud. I'm gonna say slightly more known than word cloud, just a little bit, just a tad. Then we got the leaderboard. Pretty well known, also not super hard to explain and grasp as a ranking method, so you know what? I think I'm gonna put it at the exact same level as blind ranking, because while blind ranking might be more popular, leaderboard is like more known as a, like, across the board, I guess. I don't really know. What am I doing? Then of course we got tier list. You already know where this is going. I don't even need to explain it. We're putting it right at the top, at the very peak of the iceberg. Everybody knows what a tier list is. Everybody knows how it works, how it's meant to rank things. It's universally understood. If tier list was a language, everybody would be bilingual. And then lastly, we have the numbered list. God, my handwriting is terrible. Now, I would put this at the same level as tier list because everybody knows what a list is, and by adding numbers to it, you're not like confusing anybody. And I feel like everybody knows how to rank things by numbering them as well. I just feel like tier list is much more established as a ranking method than a numbered list. So I'm gonna put numbered list like just right underneath it. It just sneaks by. In fact, it's kind of being overshadowed by tier list, because while this is the better ranking method, tier list is kind of more iconic as the ranking method. Right, okay, that's the iceberg ranking. Let's move on now. Please, I gotta change out of this. Okay, so I was gonna try to do this using a website where you give it a bunch of images and then it sets up a tournament bracket automatically, but it turns out that the website was kind of bad. So to prevent like a biased tournament, I had my friend actually choose 8 out of the 10 ranking systems to put on this tournament bracket. And you might be asking yourself, why 8? Why not use all 10? But the thing is, and the way that tournament brackets work, is that if we try to use all 10, it's not gonna be fair. And so that's kind of another flaw to add on top of all the other ones with tournament bracket, that you have to follow a certain number of things. Like it has to be a 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 spot thing. Otherwise, you're gonna have to exclude certain options. But yeah, I had my friend give me 8 in a specific order, and so going off of that setup, that's how I'm gonna do the tournament. All right, this is the setup that they gave me. Which means that tier list and tournament bracket itself are actually excluded here. But going off of this, let's run the tournament and see what comes out on top. So starting up here in the top left, we have numbered list versus alignment chart. Obviously, numbered list is gonna win and move on here because it's numbered list. Moving down here into the bottom left, we have blind ranking versus pyramid. Blind ranking is the worst, so pyramid is gonna take the cake. Then up here we have meme template versus iceberg. Between these two, I think meme template is better, but not by like a huge margin, but it just barely slides out on top. And then between leaderboard and word cloud, I think leaderboard is gonna be the winner. Then going back over here, we have numbered list versus pyramid. Numbered list is just the best one, so that's gonna come out on top. And then we have meme template versus leaderboard. Leaderboard's the better one, so that's gonna slide out on top. And then numbered list versus leaderboard. Numbered list is gonna take the cake. So that's the tournament. But like, how does like, what got second place? I guess, well, leaderboard got second place, but then what got third? Pyramid or meme template, you know? This is my problem with the tournament bracket, because then we would have to run a loser's bracket to determine like what's on the very bottom. So if we do run a loser's bracket, right, then like this would be number 1, this is number 2. So then between meme template and pyramid, I guess pyramid's the next best one, then meme template. But then out of these 4, it's like, okay, iceberg or word cloud. I'm gonna say word cloud's better, so it's gonna go up here. And then alignment chart or blind ranking. Well, obviously blind ranking. I don't know why I hesitated. Blind ranking's worse. Alignment chart's better. So then alignment chart, word cloud. Well, alignment chart's gonna be better than word cloud. Oh, I did not mean to grab that. Alignment chart's better than word cloud, so that's gonna go here at spot number 5. And then word cloud's gonna be right behind it. And then iceberg or blind ranking, well, iceberg's gonna be better than blind ranking. And this is my main problem with tournament brackets, is that in the original list, alignment chart was at spot 3.5, but here it's below 2 things that it was above, just because of where it ended up at the beginning of this whole thing. This is a really sloppy way of illustrating it, and I would do better, but I wanna get this video out as soon as possible, and I've been procrastinating it for way too long, and this is the last part of the second channel video that I'm recording, so I just can't be asked at this point. Hey guys, it's me, Professor Pixel, albeit without the fancy drip. But anyway, this is my word cloud, and of course it has numbered list as the biggest, followed by tier list, leaderboard, alignment chart, pyramid. You get the idea. Then there's meme template, word cloud, tournament bracket, and wait, hold on. I don't think you guys can see that. Okay, so if we get really close here, you can just barely make out Iceberg. I mean, it's just so small. And then over here we have, yeah, I mean, if the camera could just focus. Hello, camera? We don't have all day. Whatever, it's blind ranking. You already knew that. All right, this has been Professor Pixel signing off. This is how I would rank the ranking systems in a pyramid. Now, this is how I would rank, but more so organize the ranking methods in an alignment chart. The metrics I decided on were good to bad, and then fun to not fun, because I guess one can still be a good ranking method, but not a fun one, I guess. Because like Iceberg is a lot of fun, but it's not a good ranking method. All right, get your photos in. We're moving on now. Hey guys, welcome to my Minecraft Let's Play. So because Minecraft is like the speedrun game, I thought it'd be funny to score the ranking methods like in Minecraft and arrange them and rank them in Minecraft. So we have them laid out from worst to best, and I've scored them each individually on the 3 criteria in the video, but this time they're scored on like a score out of 5 for each. So which gives them a total score, which is then what they're ranked on the leaderboard. Also, this is from the Door tier list video. I was too lazy to make a new world. Right, so starting over here, we have blind ranking, which gets a score in clarity of 1 out of 5 because it's not really clear whether or not something's better than another when it's all just kind of, you know, scattered throughout the thing on a whim. Accuracy obviously gets a 0 out of 5 because it's like almost every single time you're going to put something where you don't want it. And then versatility is a 3 out of 5 because yeah, you can use this with like a lot of different things and probably most things, but it's not like it uses that versatility really effectively, and it doesn't really have anything special going for it, so it just gets like an average kind of score. 3 out of 5 is the average, and then 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 is like if it does something extra. So in total, blind ranking gets a ranking of 4 out of 15. It's pretty bad. Then we have the Iceberg, which gets a 3 out of 5 for clarity, pretty average. The only thing is that sometimes people are kind of vague with them. There's not really any clear dividers between quote-unquote tiers or levels, so I guess just an average score in clarity. Accuracy, they're usually, I have yet to find an Iceberg video that I kind of like disagreed with almost, so even if it's a subjective Iceberg, it's still like, I feel like it's normally pretty accurate, and again, you place them where you want, so it's not really gonna be unfair at all. And then versatility, 0 out of 5. It can only be from most to least. Oopsie. It can only be from most to least known from top to bottom, so it has to get a 0 out of 5 in that category. So in total, Iceberg gets a 7 out of 15. Then we have tournament bracket, which I don't know. I got some strong feelings on this one. So clarity, it gets a 1 out of 5 because it's very easy for something to end up lower than it should be. Same reason it gets a 1 out of 5 in accuracy. The only difference is that if you run this like multiple times, you can get more of like a general sense of things, whereas blind ranking, you could literally like something might end up at the top or the bottom just like at any point. It's not gonna like average out at some point in the middle. And then versatility, it gets a 5 out of 5 because there is something really fun and really like engaging about being able to pit things up against each other head-to-head style. And it it works with like pretty much everything as long as you just decide like what you're choosing them based on at the start. So in total, Tournament Bracket gets a 7 out of 15. Word Cloud gets a 1 out of 5 on clarity because it very, unless it's like 2 things in the word cloud, and at that point it's not even a cloud, it's just 2 words. It's not gonna be like really easy to tell whether or not something's bigger than another thing unless you like start measuring them by pixel amount or by like actual size if it's written down physically. So clarity, it's pretty bad in that regard. Accuracy, it's not like necessarily easy or hard to place something higher than it should, like actually should be, because you're just writing them out or typing them out and then scaling them to be bigger or smaller than something else. But the thing is, if you're writing them out physically or typing it out, you have to like kind of finagle it to like make sure that something is bigger than something. I don't know. It's like I don't know if I'm making much sense, but like you could accidentally write something. If you have a lot of things in a word cloud, you could write one of them like slightly bigger than another, or when they're meant to be the same size, or when it's meant to be slightly smaller, because, you know, human error. I don't know. It gets just like an average score because there's not really anything going for it, but there's also not really anything crazy going against it. And versatility, I guess it works with various criteria. It like, you can kind of put anything into a word cloud. There's not really a requirement for it. So yeah, I also just didn't want, truth be told, I just didn't want another 7 out of 10. So this gets an 8 out of 10. We've already crossed kind of the halfway point, actually, but these are all still pretty not great. Then we got meme template, which gets a 3 out of 5 in clarity. It is not clear. The thing with a meme is that like you can have various interpretations of it, because you're not really laying out what your criteria is at the beginning of like reading a meme if you were to be in a format in which it can be considered a quote unquote ranking. So usually the meme is what's implying, you know, what's better than something else, but some people might interpret it a different way, especially with specific formats. So I don't know that like it can be that high for clarity, but it also can't be like that low, because at the same time memes are pretty popular and universally understood when it comes to like the formats themselves. God, I sound like such a loser talking about memes this way. Accuracy, you make the meme, you place it where you want, so that's pretty much how it works. And then versatility gets a 2 out of 5 because it's just so limited, because you're not gonna have a 50 spot meme where you can put 50 things in it. So you're pretty limited to what things you can actually rank, because you have to choose a set of things where it's not actually that many things. So yeah, it's not that versatile. So all in all, 8 out of 15. We started with 4 out of 15. We have not progressed much. Then we got pyramid, which gets a 3 out of 5 in clarity, because within a pyramid tier, it's not clear what's better than another, but there are tiers. So it's like a step in the right direction, but it's not perfect. So I think it gets like a good middle of the road rating. Accuracy, you get a 3 out of 5 because... wait, why is that 3 out of... I guess just because of the vagueness of like within each tier, it can be unclear what's higher or lower, which kind of blends into an issue with accuracy as well as clarity. So I guess it's a 3 out of 5. I could see this being a 4 out of 5, but it wouldn't move it up at all. And then clarity, wait, that what? Why does that say clarity? Why are there 2 clarities? I was probably so tired making this. Holy cow. Versatility gets a 4 out of 5 because you can do it with like pretty much anything, and it works objectively and subjective. Oh, wait, I know why accuracy is 3 out of 5, because it has to get smaller as it goes up. So it's not like super fair, but it's also, you know, not terrible. So it gets a 3 out of 5. Anyway, versatility, 4 out of 5 because it works with most criteria. It's just most often used for like groups that I guess shrink as you go up the pyramid. So I don't know. It's not like the worst, but it's pretty good. So total, pyramid gets a 10 out of 15. Alignment charts, we're counting this. Clarity, kind of clear, not like terrible, sometimes unclear, but like usually pretty decipherable. So 3 out of 5. Accuracy, pretty fair, pretty neat, 4 out of 5. And versatility, It works with a lot of criteria. It works with pretty much anything. Works objectively and subjectively. And you can grade it based on 2 entirely different things. So I think that gives it a nice 5 out of 5 in versatility. I think that's our first. Is that our first 5 out of 5? That's our first 5 out of 5. Wow. Throw some confetti on screen or something. That's a... Wow. What a sight to behold. 12 out of 15 for the only ranking method that is not technically a ranking method. Then we got leaderboard. This very ranking method, which gets a 4 out of 5 in clarity. Very clear what's better than another because it's pretty much just a numbered list, just organized differently. So pretty darn clear. Accuracy, 5 out of 5, the most fair. It's based on individual rankings. It's not like you're assessing each thing individually, so there's not gonna be bias when comparing it to something else. You're just assessing one thing by itself and then assessing another thing by itself and then comparing the two, and you're looking at what turns out being better. So it's very fair, very, very accurate. And then versatility, it gets a 3 out of 5 because it can only be objective based on the number comparison of scores given to 2 different things, but that allows for subjectivity to a degree, so it still gets a 3 out of 5. 12 out of 15, which is the same as alignment chart, but I still think this is better. Then we got tier list. 3 out of 5 in clarity, because within a given tier, it's not super clear what's better than another, right? Same thing as pyramid. That's alignment chart. Whoopsie. Same thing as pyramid, where it's just, you know, kind of unclear what's better within a tier. So it gets the same score, but accuracy 5 out of 5 and versatility 5 out of 5 because you're gonna know exactly where you want to put everything, and then it works for like everything. You've seen a tier list for everything at this point. So I don't know. Tier list is just, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It gets a 5 out of 5 in these categories, and its only flaw, as mentioned in the main channel video, is that it's kind of unclear within tiers at points. So that's the only thing dragging it down. So total, 13 out of 15. And then lastly, numbered list, my goat. Clarity, there's no confusion over what's better than another, 5 out of 5. Accuracy, it's always gonna be exactly how you want it to be, 5 out of 5. And versatility, you can make a list out of anything, 5 out of 5. 15 out of 15, perfect score. Oh my God, we're so freaking goated. We're so freaking goated, guys. We're so freaking goated. So freaking goated, guy. Oh my God, so freaking goated. Oh my God, just so freaking, hello? Why did it just stop? What the hell? Well, guys, it looks like we only got a 7-spot list now. That's a bummer. Anyways, I'll pass it back to IRL Pixel. Take it away, buddy. This is how I would rank the ranking systems in a tier list. Okay, that's pretty much it. Video over.